She set out of the house covering a staggering 900 miles across state lines to kill someone. A trip caused by betrayal, love, and a strong need to get even. What could make a woman go that extreme? This is a story that will keep you on the edge of your seat. The story of Angielly Dominguez will make you think about whether or not being angry can hurt you. On a calm, seemingly normal day, Angielly Dominguez set out on a journey that would change the city, the family, and everyone's lives around her forever. Angielly was a young woman who had big dreams, but deep down, she was filled with a terrible anger that would soon explode in a terrible act of violence. Angie lost her peace of mind when her relationship ended. She made bad decisions because she was jealous and felt betrayed. She was filled with anger towards Angielly, whom she saw as the cause of her pain. Online slurs started as innocent but quickly turned into something much worse. She drove almost 900 miles to New Jersey with a gun in her car and a lot of anger in her heart. She had no idea that her appearance would set off a series of terrible events that would ruin her life and take away a future that would never be the same again. This is the story of how a small trip turned into a deadly task and the scary things that happened afterward. A woman drove more than 900 miles north from Florida to a New Jersey home where she shot her younger sister to death. With their younger brother in the house, New Jersey police say. The day before the March 22nd shooting, the accused woman's boyfriend reported to Florida authorities that she took all of his guns and drove off in his white Ford Mustang on March 21st, according to a probable cause affidavit obtained by McClatchy News. Angielly Dominguez, 27, of Jacksonville, is charged with murder in the killing of her 21-year-old sister Angielly Dominguez in Little Ferry, the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office said. Dominguez, 27, is now charged with first-degree murder, possession of a firearm for an unlawful purpose, and hindering her apprehension, according to New Jersey court records. Her arrest came hours after officers with the Little Ferry Police Department responded to a report of a stabbing following a possible domestic incident. Those officers arrived to find 21-year-old Angielly Dominguez deceased with a gunshot wound to the head. Angielly Dominguez fled the scene, according to Little Ferry Police Chief Jim Walters. But she was apprehended a short time later by New Jersey State Police in Cherry Hill, nearly 100 miles away from the crime scene. Police later confirmed what Miranda had been telling various authorities for 24 hours at that point. Angielly was allegedly driving a stolen white Mustang and had 5 stolen guns in her trunk. How the fiancé tried to get it stopped. The fiancé of a woman charged with the murder of her sister claims he alerted authorities multiple times that his wife had fled with stolen guns. Tony Miranda told local television station WJXT in Jacksonville, FLA, that he contacted Florida and New Jersey authorities to report that his fiancée, Angielly Dominguez, took off after stealing his car and 5 guns. He now says that life could have been saved if law enforcement had stopped Dominguez and arrested her for theft. Instead, according to a criminal complaint filed in Bergen County, Dominguez made it to New Jersey without being stopped. Once there, she allegedly shot her younger sister dead after the two argued about money. Officers told me because she's my girlfriend, and because you guys have been together for roughly 3 years, and she's pregnant with your child. It's not necessarily stealing the items, Miranda told WJXT, because she could come back, and I'm like, she's in South Carolina. Miranda says he continued to track Dominguez as she traveled to New Jersey from Florida and eventually called authorities in Bayonne. Tony Miranda. I tried to get it stopped, Miranda said during his interview with WJXT. What the law says. The Bergen County Prosecutor's Office charged Angielly Dominguez with first-degree murder and second-degree possession of a firearm for an unlawful purpose in connection with the death of 21-year-old nursing student Angielly Dominguez. She's also charged with third-degree hindering her apprehension. The Little Ferry Police Department received a 911 call initially about a stabbing at approximately 4 p.m. on Tuesday. When officers arrived, they were met by Angielly's younger brother, who stated, "She's inside. She's shot," according to a probable cause affidavit obtained by People. Angielly Dominguez was charged with murder in March 2022 after she allegedly shot her sister inside a Sandhill courthouse, supposedly after an argument over money. Dominguez appeared for a status conference on August 21st, before State Superior Court Judge Mark Ramundo to update the case. During the hearing, Dominguez's attorney told Ramundo there had been discussions between her and the prosecutor's office about a potential plea. Dominguez's attorney said the last offer they gave the prosecutor was that Dominguez would plead guilty to second-degree manslaughter with 8 years in state prison, which was ultimately rejected. But we do believe there will be further discussion and that there will be reciprocal discovery from the defense turned over to the state, the defense attorney told Raimundo. During the hearing, the prosecution said the defense was doing some of its investigation. Her attorney confirmed that they had been waiting on additional discovery from the state during previous court hearings and are currently finalizing discovery items for the state. Dominguez's attorney also brought up the issue of her client not being allowed time in the Hudson County Correctional Facility Library to review her case and discovery, but said she would remind the staff that there was an order allowing her to do so. Dominguez's sister, Angielly, who was 21 when she was killed, had dreamed of being a nurse. She was called a scholar by her family because of her good grades and big goals for the future. To reach those goals, she went to school at William Patterson University. A vigil was held for Angielly Dominguez at the university's student center after she died. The shooting was witnessed by Angielly Dominguez's little brother. He told the cops that when he got home from school his sisters were talking in the other room. He went into the living room because he thought he heard a gunshot. He told the police that he saw Angielly, who he said looked at him before leaving the house. The arrest. Angielly Dominguez was pulled over by state troopers on the New Jersey Turnpike a few hours after the deadly shooting, according to an arrest affidavit. Troopers found 5 guns in the trunk of the white Mustang, which her fiancé reported stolen on Monday, investigators wrote. Tony Miranda, Dominguez's fiancé who lived with her in Jacksonville, told the I-Team that he alerted police in Jacksonville and Bayonne, New Jersey, that she took his vehicle and 5 guns. He told them he was tracking her through her phone's GPS. Tony Miranda, officers told me, because she's my girlfriend. And because you guys have been together for 3 years roughly. And she's pregnant with your child, but it's not necessarily stealing the items, Miranda said. Tony Miranda, because she could come back, and I'm like she's in South Carolina. Despite Miranda insisting she stole his car and firearms, the I-Team found records showing the officer in Jacksonville wrote that the case was civil and not criminal. Tony Miranda. It's devastating that she took her sister's life with something that I feel could have been prevented had they stopped her when I called to report all that this was stolen, an emotional Miranda said. Tony Miranda, and they see that she's mentally unstable. Jacksonville Sheriff's Office records show that Dominguez was Baker-acted last Friday, but was cleared by a doctor and released the next day on Saturday. Miranda, her fiancé, reported that she took off in his car on Monday. The homicide happened on Tuesday. Hours later, state police arrested her on the turnpike on her way back to Florida. Troopers used Miranda's GPS to locate her. Tony Miranda, I tried to get it stopped. It was the I-Team who told JSO about his complaints. According to Christian Hancock, the public information officer, this has led the sheriff's office to start an internal probe into what happened and how the case was handled. Hancock said that the administrators are taking the body-worn camera off of the calls and looking at how the officers handled the case. He said that Florida law says a husband can legally take a car and things from a couple. He also said that this wasn't the couple's first fight at home and that police knew they were having relationship problems. Angie Dominguez's story ended in tragedy. This is a stark warning to all of us that anger left unchecked and uncontrolled has consequences, and the consequences are dire. The story also makes you think, how often do we let our pain and anger control our decisions until it's too late? As we think about this terrible event, we should remember that help is always available. These feelings shouldn't have to be felt by one person. It can make all the difference to get help from friends, family, or professionals before things get out of hand. If you found this story upsetting and thought-provoking, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting true crime stories, and get notifications for our new videos whenever they drop. With your help, we can show how people's feelings and actions affect others. Please share your thoughts below so that we can all learn from the past and avoid disasters in the future. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.